MTC. Q start 7 number 1. Dear Ms. Pillay. While we appreciate the article you ran about our company, Boonton Bagel Bakers, on your website, we regret that the article featured a major error. Boonton Bagel Bakers. Your writer stated that we are a not-for-profit company and that all of our profits go to endangered species organizations. Each of those facts is incorrect. We are neither a not-for-profit nor do our profits go to such organizations. We have no idea where your writer got the idea that either of these facts was true, but we request that you publish a correction to the article on your website as well as change the existing posted article. Thank you for your immediate attention to this issue. We trust that you will make the correction to your website as quickly as possible. Sincerely, Peter Brown. Peter Brown. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC. Q start 7 number 2. The most pressing task may lie in the issue of climate change. Long before fossil fuels run out, we'll have to face up to the consequences of using these fuels. Global warming will be a much greater threat in 20 years than it is today. 20. Changes in the atmosphere have never occurred as rapidly as they do now. Our current tools and social structures are not sufficiently effective for us to manage the climate or to prosper in hostile surroundings. We must either learn how to change the climate in our favor or develop technologies that will enable us to survive in different environments. Both are clearly lacking today. The development of science and technology in these areas should therefore be given the highest priority. If we manage to solve these problems in the decades ahead, we have grounds for hoping that our descendants will also survive into the distant future. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC. Q start 7 number 4. A friend of mine tells her 2 boys not very good idea stories about her childhood. One story was about her fascination with her dad's lawnmower. At 9 years of age, she decided to try her hand at operating it and ended up breaking it into pieces. 9. The way she tells this story is full of suspense, laughter, and silliness. It opens up a wider reality for her boys that includes both wanting to have fun and thinking about the consequences. She doesn't depend on mindless rules to keep her boys safe. She uses story to keep them thinking for themselves, both in terms of having fun, and outside the box in terms of the consequences of their choices. If you want someone to see facts that are outside their current reality, use story to take them on a tour of the big wide world and help them stay interested long enough for it to become real to them. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC. Q start 7 number 5. On a large scale, weather plays a big role in the economic health of every nation on Earth. A timely soaking rain can rescue a crop from ruin, while a sudden cloudburst can wash it away. And farmers aren't the only ones at risk. Those who depend on natural gas for heat often watch in dismay as a particularly cold winter sends prices skyward. Hurricanes can drive tourists away from areas that depend on a regular influx of visitors for their livelihoods. Even a gentle phenomenon like fog can result in disaster, as the captains of the Andrea Doria and the Stockholm learned one fateful July night in 1956. Andrea Doria Stockholm 19567. And during the Dust Bowl of 1936, one of the hottest and driest summers ever recorded, more than 15,000 people died of malnutrition and dust-related diseases. 1936, 15,000. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC. Q start 7 number 6. I remember an experiment I read about many years ago that I admired very much. It occurred in full real life. At a building on the campus of a university, the experimenters put up a sign in front of the main door at the center of the building. The sign read, "This door closed." Then, of the people who came up the steps, they counted the people who, seeing the sign, turned and went away. They also counted the people who went past the sign and into the building. Then they repeated all that on the same day of the next week, during the same hours of the day. This time, however, the sign read, "This door closed. Please use door at end," with an arrow pointing off to the side. As you might suppose, a much smaller percentage of people, during the second trial, violated the sign. The simple explanation, I think, is that the second sign made it easier for most people coming up the steps to find an alternate route to their goal than did the first sign. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC. Q start 7 number 7. Plot twists are major story elements that often prove to be the opposite of what was being seen or expected. Twists go back far into history, and a twist is frequently ironic and is caused occasionally by chance. The Gift of the Magi, by O. Henry, is a classic example of a story that ends with a bitter twist. O. Henry, The Gift of the Magi. The story focuses on a very poor couple. The wife has long, beautiful hair, and has admired a set of combs in a shop window, and the husband's one possession is a pocket watch. For Christmas, the wife cuts off her hair, sells it for money, and buys a chain for her husband's watch. The husband, in turn, has sold the watch to buy his wife the combs. It's a bitter, ironic twist, but it has a powerful impact. Readers can relate to the story because things like that happen. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC. Q start 7 number 8. Because we place such a high value on doing things quickly in our culture, it can be difficult to live with a nervous system that needs more time to process information. Kids and adults who are slower at these types of processing tasks are sometimes assumed to be lacking in intelligence, but this really isn't the case. However, processing speed does interact with other areas of cognitive functioning by negatively impacting the ability to quickly come up with an answer, retrieve information from long-term memory, and remember what you're supposed to be doing at a given time. In other words, it's possible that someone with slow processing speed will, as a result, be impaired in other areas of thinking and may even score lower on tests of intelligence, but this isn't necessarily the case, since being cognitively compromised in one area isn't the same as being less intelligent overall. MTC. Good job.